Alright, welcome. This is going to be a very in-depth guide on how to get started in ARURA RP. This might be useful for experienced players, but this is pretty much aimed towards people that are just coming into the server and to help you really get into your character and not feel like you're just lost and you're like, oh, I don't know where anything is or what I'm doing, because that's pretty much the biggest struggle going into any server brand new. So we're going to try to help out with that. To begin with, you'll have up to 5 characters that you can create. I'm going to go ahead and select this empty slot. So I just have my arrow over the character, hit enter, and now I'll have to use my mouse to hit confirm. Next, you're going to fill in your name. So you want to start with your last name, which is your surname will be your last name, then your first name. So we're going to start off, and this will be Jimmy Jones. He's American. You want to select your birthday. You can scroll with your mouse wheel, or you can also click over here if you want to. Alright, place of birth. We will do Toledo Bay. And as long as I have that information all correct, I will be able to click Issue Passport. Alright, once that gets you situated, now we'll go to the character creation. Just make sure that you don't bump your mouse or do anything with that in this process. You're going to be using your arrow keys. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and select which sex we want, because currently we are just an NPC. So you either have the female, or we will go back, and now we have the male character. So that's what we're going to pick for Jimmy Jones. You have your mom and your dad's face, and then there's a blend of the resemblance between the two. So let's see if I can remember how to do Jimmy Jones. When you go through this, it is good to spend a fair amount of time trying to really make your character, fit, what you're trying to create. To fit, the person that you're trying to create, and to spend a lot of time to really make this person detailed and unique. There's a lot of attention to detail that you can really put in. You can see right there what I was just doing was that made his face a lot skinnier, taking the resemblance down. So I'm going to raise that resemblance back up because Jimmy Jones always had a husky face. So I'm going to raise that back up. You can see it's getting much more of a round face. That is definitely perfect right there. The nose is pretty good. I'm not going to touch that. Cheekbones, you can change that if you want to, but actually, I might change the width a little bit here. It looks a little too wide, actually. Let's wait for him to move his face. There we go. It's perfect. Cheeks are good. Lips are fine. Jaw looks to be pretty good. We're gonna go to neck thickness, and we just want to make sure that we bump that up. Actually, I might bump that down a little bit. I'm gonna bump that down because I don't want that to clip through like a turtleneck or a collared shirt, because Jimmy Jones always is wearing button-up police uniforms, so that would be counterproductive. Now we're gonna go through, pick a hairstyle. You can use your number pad, and the 6 and the 4 will rotate your camera around. So I think that hair is decent, and I think I might stay with that selection. Although, I won't lie, I think I might go with this selection. Oh yeah, I'm gonna change the color here. So we're gonna go down to hair color 1. All right, that looks pretty good. Hair color 2, I believe, will change like the highlights of it, if you will. So you can see there, it is changing it a bit as I go through. And honestly, some of those don't look too bad. Look how much brighter that got. I think I'm gonna go with that. I've never seen somebody with that like shade. And again, like I said, you know, really making your character look unique really will make them stand out and make them memorable. So spending a lot of time on the creation is definitely tedious, but it is an important step. Okay, so t-shirt. There's going to be a lot of options as you go through t-shirt, and you'll see things like this, where it's an accessory belt. That's just under the t-shirt category, so that's why you'd be seeing that. There's a lot of things in here that you won't necessarily want to use. But you can be confused, and you're like, well, why am I wearing a t-shirt, but it says I'm changing my t-shirt? Okay, so the reason that it's doing that is because there's a difference between your torso and your t-shirt. So the best thing you can do is start out with t-shirt and get this to 15. 15 will zero it out, and you'll have no t-shirt on. You can come down to torso then, and if you want to, you can go through the torsos and select that, or you can just go to 15, zero that out, and then go back up to t-shirt, and you can go through and you can select through these. But now you're getting an idea of how the t-shirt would somehow get combined, because look, it's not a full body, obviously. So the t-shirt would get combined with torso. So with this one in particular, it's a collared shirt with just the front showing. So I would need to find something that would fit to make it make sense. And there's definitely clothing options that are available right there. You can see this jacket, which is your torso, goes with that t-shirt option. Now you can see my arms are popping through. That's an entirely different selection. To correct that sort of thing, you would just go down to arms and make sure that you select the correct arms. Now you can hit X to raise your hands, and you can also make sure that your arms aren't popping through your clothing anywhere when your body changes its position. It's definitely a key thing to do. You never want to have your clothing popping through other clothing articles, especially not your skin popping through. What other players will say is basically that you have holes in your clothing. And because this is a realistic world, and we're playing things out realistically, it would make sense that if I could see your shirt through, you know, parts of your shirt, you would have holes in your clothing. Okay, so as far as this clothing goes, this is not really ideal. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take this to 15 again, zero that out so we have no t-shirt on. We're going to go through here and just look at a little bit of clothing options to get us started. Now, if you want, you can fast forward through this section if you already know how to do all of this, and you can proceed to after the character creation. But we're going to go through this really quick just to show everybody, you know, how to create your character successfully. Now, remember if I was talking earlier about my neck being a little fat, you can see right here with this t-shirt how it's already starting to pop through a little bit there. And had I made his neck not, you know, thinner, it would have definitely been popping through the sides of this collared shirt. So that's definitely something you want to consider. And I think I might actually go along with this collared shirt. No second option for color, though. The number 2 is going to be your color option with your clothing. So your torso is going to be, your torso 1 rather is going to change your clothing article, and then your number 2 would change the color for that clothing. I might go with this jacket here. And now we can go and we can come back to this t-shirt and we can pick an option in here. Now the checkered clothing, you never want to use that. That's basically a missing texture. And that looks pretty good right there with the white jacket and the red t-shirt. I think I'm going to go with that, or the red button up rather. I think I'll go with that. Let's just zoom our camera around really quick, make sure our arms are looking good. Yep, that all looks great. We will move down to pants. We'll just go with a pair of blue jeans here. Maybe not this pair. I don't like how there's that faded section. Please report any homeless people to a police officer. Panhandling without performing the song is not allowed at any time. That's weird. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Those are not bad. Alright, we'll go to the shoes. And again, you can change the color of the shoes. I think I'll just keep them all black. Your safety is important to us. Surveillance cameras are posted, though not monitored. Actually, you know what? We'll just go with the white. All right. So we'll move down. Mask. I'm gonna recommend that you don't actually select one of these masks right here. The reason being is masks are actually going to be a physical item. Now, if you are going to create a character that has some sort of a mask that's just part of their person, as you can see, there's different facial hairs that are in here. You can go ahead and you can do that. Just keep in mind, you need to keep your character creative, realistic. So you couldn't be like, oh yeah, this is my face all the time. That would definitely be problematic, especially with the police. You know, but if you were saying this is my face all the time, you know, that would be acceptable. Bulletproof vest. There are more in here, or there are more excuse me, options in here other than bulletproof vest. So if you do find something useful for your character, what their clothing would be, if you want to have this kind of vest on, I believe there's other civilian options in here as well, like this reflective vest. There's some belts as well, some IDs, press pass if you're making some sort of a reporter character or news character. So those things are definitely available to you. Just keep in mind you don't want to be imitating police by wearing a police vest. That will definitely get you in trouble with the police because they're going to look at it like that's stolen police property. Because that sort of thing isn't purchasable anywhere other than when you're creating your characters initially right here. Chains, again, these are different things that you can add to your character. Just add a little bit of detail, a little bit of flair, depending on, you know, what kind of character you're creating. This will definitely widely vary on, you know, what you'll select right here. Depending on when you join the server, we may be at the point where these chains are actually items. So if that's the case, you would definitely want to purchase the item to take the chain on and off rather than having it as, you know, part of your clothing full time. But I'm not going to actually select any of the chains for this guy. There are other options you can see in here other than chains, like ties, different accessories. So feel free to go through there and explore. Some will be visible, some won't be, just depending on, you know, the clothing that you're wearing. Hats. We can go through the hats. I'm not sure if there's going to be a hat. Actually, that's kind of funny. I almost feel like my character right now with this look looks really close to another character that's already existing in the server. Yeah, I don't think a regular hat is gonna work. Let me see. We might have to change my hair, actually. Let me see. What hat is he gonna be wearing all the time? It's not a sheriff hat. There we go. That would be his hat. And I think we'll be good to go there. Yeah, that hair will be just fine. Alright, so I'm gonna zero this back out though, because that's just part of my police outfit. So I don't need that now. I just noticed that there is an option in here where you can have a cigarette behind your ear. Keep in mind, you wouldn't necessarily have to pick this option. You can actually just do that in the game as a command. It's just ear cig. You would just type that into the chat. All right. Glasses. I think we're gonna skip the glasses options. I'm not going to wear a watch or any kind of braces or bracelets rather. No bags. Eye color. I believe we're actually gonna keep the green eye color. The squint. We are not gonna do an eye squint. Eyebrow size and type, it's definitely key. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the size first. And you can see that made my eyebrows actually show up. Make sure you don't forget to put eyebrows on your character. You do need to do the size before you can do the type, so you can see what kind you're actually selecting for your character. You can then do the color, try to match your hair. And I think that's pretty close. And you can change the height of your eyebrows as well. Do actually look a little low. There we go. I'm gonna raise it up like that. Perfect. Makeup, if you're a lady or if you're a gentleman that would like to wear makeup, by all means. There's different lipstick choices as well. I actually am thinking here, under makeup, there may be more. Oh wait, that's color. If I remember correctly, there may be more under makeup type than just makeup. I think you would need to adjust the thickness first. So.
Exactly. Lazy Americans here cost a fortune. Can you ensure me that my clients won't pay more than $50 per worker?
So these are your makeup options. Again, you can change the color and the darkness and everything along those lines. There are some tattoos that are in here. Facial tattoos that you can see. And I guess that's how you would look at all of these, as being facial tattoos. And again, these can be adjusted. I just have the thickness really set. You could limit the thickness if you wanted to, and you could also change the color.
Fuck patriotism. People need iFruit phones. Exactly. Hey, you going to that party tomorrow? Your girl was fucked up last night.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and remove all of these makeup choices. Take the thickness all the way down. Lipstick is all good. No ear accessories are needed. I'm gonna skip all the chest hair, body blemishes. We will skip those as well. If you're gonna have a character that's often not wearing a shirt, though, you definitely want to consider those choices. We will do a little bit of wrinkle. Just to make our character look like he's a little bit more aged, a little bit more, you know, lived, a little bit more real. We're gonna go back to the beginning. It's kind of just adding like crow's feet around the eyes right there. I think we will go with that. Just take that one step down. We'll go down to the sun.
I can promise you I've never been to fucking Malaysia.
And if you can't see what that's doing here, I can crank that up to make it a little bit more defined there. You can see that it's adding a little bit of texture to your face. So you go from having a super smooth face to just having a little bit of definition to your face. A little bit of depth, if you will. Freckles, you can go in there and you can add that if you wish. I typically try to add a few. Just depending on having the correct style. They can be spread out across your face. It's not necessarily something super defined. A lot of people have, you know, random freckles on their face. And then beard style. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do something very light.
Smoke some weed or something.
Maybe 5 o'clock shadow.
Let me think about it. I'm pretty pissed about it.
All right, I think I'm going to go with something like that. I think I'm going to leave the color the way it is as well. Okay, so that's basically going through with my character creation. Just going back down. I think I have everything pretty much right where I want it to be. If you do make a mistake and you close out of this by mistake, you can go to the plastic surgeon. However, it will cost you money. Doing it right now initially is free. Okay, now that I'm finished, I need to hit the enter key to complete the character creation. Do not hit escape. Don't hit anything else. Don't click your mouse. Simply hit the enter key on the keyboard, and that will create your character. Okay, now that we're into the world, we have our character created. Typically, the best thing you can do is start out by just opening up the map, hitting the P button on your keyboard. And once you open up the map, you can see that there's a lot of icons that are located all over. But depending on what you want to do, it can really vary. You might want to go get a car right away. You might want to go to the store to get a phone right away to meet up with your friends. You may need to go rent a car right away, get a job. We're going to start out with getting a job right across the street right here, and then there is a vehicle rental location right here as well. So I am right here, and just simply have to walk right across the street to that building.
What do you want?
When you come inside here, you just have to hit E to open the job center. You can see there are whitelisted jobs here. You have to apply for those in Discord. If you come here to find a job, you'll be able to view all of the different jobs that will be available to you. Now, keep in mind that these are not all of the jobs in the server or in the city. There are many that are not listed. These are just the ones that you initially can come here and get a job, find the location, and head out into the world. There are many jobs that you don't have to be set in with that job as your full-time job, so you can do multiple jobs and not have to be a tank driver, or you don't have to be a lumberjack to do. For instance, mining. You can go work at the quarry and be a miner, without having a job. Anybody can go swing a pickaxe, but in order to really utilize those materials to the fullest, you would need to become, you know, a mineral and metal specialist. When you do that, then you can do all sorts of different things like crafting and gem cutting, things along those lines. So keep that in mind. Again, with like farming, you can be a farmer and utilize all of that equipment, but you can also just go out and plant and grow your own crops if you want to without being an official farmer. So if you don't see what you want to do in here, you know, don't be too bummed out initially. To get started, I believe what we will do is we will select, yeah, I think we'll start out with tank driver. Now, also inside of here, you can find rules and settings to change some of the things inside of here. Keep in mind, right here under bugs, if you select bugs, this is where the report form is going to come up. Okay, so if you have a bug that you experience, please fill this out and submit it. If you have a suggestion or an issue, you know, this is here for you to help you guys out. This gets posted to all of the staff in Discord, and we review this, and these things then get put into future updates to help the server overall. So we always appreciate it if you submit those. All right, now that I have my job, I'm gonna come back out here, hit the P. We need to get that vehicle to be able to get over there, because now that we have our tanker job, we have to head out there. Now, to me, I would think, well, there's a lot on my map here. Where do I go? If you come back inside here, you hit E, you go to the jobs. Right here under location, you can click on this location, and the location should then get marked on your map to show you where to get started at. Did I click on the trucker job? It's nice. Oh, well, looks like there's a little bit of a mix-up between the true trucker jobs. They're both not located there. I do happen to know that we're doing the tanker job, which is a refueling job, so we would be out here under tanker work in the oil fields. So we'll get that updated. There must have been a mix-up between the two different trucker jobs there. This is where the other freight trucking job is. We're doing the tanker job. When we come over here to the vehicle rental, we can flex E to check out the vehicles. There's a few different choices in here depending on what you want to accomplish. I'm just going to go with this vehicle for now. I'm going to rent it for 5 minutes. Should be plenty of time to actually get me over there. However, I am realizing right now that I don't have a driver's license. So my first stop is going to be the driver's license center. So we're going to get this vehicle. We could purchase insurance if we want to. I'm not going to go ahead and purchase the insurance now. I'm just going to rent the vehicle. So we're going to hit enter to rent the vehicle. We have the vehicle. We can see the timer on the left. It tells us how much time we have. And I have to pay $150, I guess, if we damage the vehicle. So getting the insurance is actually cheaper. You lose about 50 bucks, it seems. Okay, so we need to go to the license center. It's going to be a driving school. So on the left right here is going to be your points of interest. So just scroll down till you get to the driving school, and you can select that. I'm going to hit enter, and we will now head over to this location. Always be mindful of, you know, the traffic laws, signals, things like that. There are, you know, law enforcement officers out here enforcing these laws. So if they see you, they will stop you. Right now, I have no driver's license. I'm in a rented vehicle. I really don't want to get stopped by the police. So we're gonna go ahead and just mind our P's and Q's. You don't have to sit at full red lights. We ask that you do wait at least 5 seconds though at red lights in order to avoid being ticketed.
Yo, my boy, I need to holler at you.
All right, we have arrived. You can see there's a return point right here for the rental car. I got my down payment back. I can tell you right now, I bet I forgot something. We don't have enough money. So, first thing that we're gonna have to go do now, since we returned our vehicle, is rent another vehicle. Thankfully, there's a vehicle rental location right here. All right, so how do we get money? Well, we're gonna have to head to the bank. Closest bank is about 2 blocks away. We did just see a cop go flying by with his lights on, so we should be all right. M is going to turn off your vehicle's ignition, and it also turns your vehicle on. In Discord and on the website, you can find the keyboard controls. Right here, we're gonna go and open the bank. And we can see that we started off with around $20,000. So what we need to do is we need to get some money out to be able to do our test. I'm actually gonna let me take out like $1,300, maybe $1,500. And then I'm also, additionally, I'm gonna come down here to account options. And I'm gonna request a card, and then I need to set my PIN number. So we're gonna just do 1, 2, 3, 4, confirm. My PIN's been created, and now I can close out. Walk outside the bank. F2 for your inventory, and you can see right here's my bank card and my $1,500. If I come over here to the ATM, you can see H to break into the ATM. I definitely don't want to break into it. So I'm going to press E, which is my third eye. And then we're going to click with the mouse and then use ATM. And now this will open up to select my PIN. 1, 2, 3, 4, enter. And this will open up, welcome Jimmy Jones. And I can go ahead and deposit, withdraw, and everything that I need to do. All right, M to start the vehicle. All right, we're back. Need to go up here, take our test. You can read all of this. I've already read this, obviously. I've done this several times. All right, great. So we passed our test. And we need to step out of the circle and then step back into the circle. And then we can decide if we want to take a driver's test, a motorcycle test, or a truck skill test. We're going to take the truck skill test because we're going to do the CDL because of the tanker job. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And puts us in a little box truck here. Speed limit is 45. It's going to be your minimum speed limit. It's 45. Now you want to make sure that you're not crashing into anything while you're doing your test. So if you're already familiar with the driving aspect of this and taking the test, you can go ahead and fast forward to this section of the video. We won't be discussing too much here. We're just going to go ahead and go through the basics of this. Arrow keys on your keyboard are how you use your turn signals if you wish to use your turn signals. It's not something that is required, but it is available to you. You want to make sure your fuel level is good before you head out. There is a gas station right there if you happen to need fuel, but you should be good to go. All right, speed limit on the highways are 80 miles an hour. So we're going to get this up to 80. I don't even know if this thing will actually do 80. Keep in mind, the speeds in the server are designed to fit the world better. So to represent the realism when you're traveling. Granted, some vehicles may be able to do, you know, close to 200 miles an hour. I don't believe doing 200 miles an hour in the server and the scale of the world really fits appropriately. So that's why the vehicle speed limits are set the way they are, and they're set across the board pretty much. There's no vehicles that are doing, you know, really excessive speeds. If you are in a regular vehicle and you can get up to the 80 miles an hour, you can just hit the backspace key on your keyboard. I'm sorry, not the backspace key. The equals key on your keyboard next to the backspace key. And what that does is set your cruise control. When you set the cruise control, what that does for you is it makes it so that you do not have to press and hold the W key. However, you do need to tap A and D to be able to turn the vehicle still. So right there I had to press A, D to correct, D to switch back over, but at no point in time do I have to hit W. And right now I don't have to press anything, I can just have my hands on my lap if I want. There is a difference between a cruise control and a speed limiter. Many of you are familiar with the speed limiter that we've used for years, where you would set your speed and then you would hold W but not be able to go over that speed. We're no longer using that system. Alright, we're back in town. Saying we need to slow down to 65 miles an hour in this area. Alright, I'm on our way back to the license center. All right, we passed our test. Check our pocket. We got our driver's license, or rather our state ID. Now, when you use your state ID, you can either drag it to use, or you can have it in one of your quick pockets. So I'm going to put it in slot 1. I press 1 on my keyboard, and now I can see my ID right there. At the bottom, you can see the type of licenses that I have. Every time you get a new type of license, it'll be applied to your ID card. So I have my DMV, which is me coming down here and taking my test, and then my CDL, which was the driving test that we just did in the box truck. So we're good to go now with our CDL driving test and our theory test to be able to come back and do the motorcycle and the regular vehicle test right now if we would like to. But we're going to get to work and rent a vehicle. And we're going to go ahead and rent this car again. Now you can see I'm getting a little thirsty, a little hungry if you look at the bottom left. Now it's going to be your health from the left, then your hunger, and then your thirst. Another thing that you might want to change is your vehicle HUD. Now you can't change this HUD. However, you can change this one because right now it's probably appearing in the middle of your screen. Just simply click and drag any of these items after you hit Y to open your vehicle HUD. So hit Y, and I'll open the settings. You can change the color of these things if you wish to. Right here under the dashboard, you can select what you don't want to see and what you do. So you can turn off the cruise control, seat belt, the fuel, the high beam, the turn signals if you wish to. That all shows up down here. This is your dash. The street compass, you can turn off the heading and these things if you wish to. If you want to still see the street that you're on, like I do, I keep that right here. And then you can change the size of things as well. So set this however best appeals to you. Make sure you hit save. And then next time you log into the server or anytime you get into a vehicle, the stuff will be all where you want it to be. But remember, you can just click and drag these things and place them however you want them to be. Okay. So, about the hunger and the thirst. We can either head to a 24/7 restaurant, or convenience store rather, which you can see right here, 24/7. There's 15 of them marked around the world. Or you can go to a local establishment like Rufus's Diner. That's a great place to meet other players as well. There's several of these locations. There's the Mojito, or sorry, that's a brewery. There's a Mojito Inn or a bar and grill. There's many places though that you can go around and meet people. The bakery, Bahama Mamas, the Vanilla Unicorn. These places all have unique drinks and food items, so you can go to those places to meet other players and take care of your food needs and get some entertainment as well. The way that we typically play it, or the way that we typically like to live it, I should say, is at nighttime you should expect the nightclubs to be open, the gentlemen's clubs to be open, and then during the day things like the bakery would be open. Early in the morning you can go to the diner. So the time really reflects how the world operates and what's open when. Right now, for example, if I wanted to go buy a vehicle, I couldn't buy a vehicle. All the car dealerships would be closed until the morning. So what we're going to do right now is head over to this convenience store right here in front of us. And we're going to grab a bite to eat, a drink, and then we are going to go grab a cell phone. And then we will go out to our job location. So it does take a little bit of time to get your character established and get yourself set up out here. And again, you can approach these things in different order. It's all on how you want to come out here and live it out. This is just how I would do it. Oh my goodness. Look at the pants I'm wearing. They have a stripe down the side. I have a feeling that these are like state trooper pants, which is kind of fitting for this character, to be honest. Right now you can see there's a light on in front of me. That's my cell phone flashlight. I know I don't have a cell phone on me at the moment. That's just a small glitch that we have that will be resolved very shortly, so that's nothing you even have to consider. When we come in here, we can open up the store, and you can see all the different things. We have candy in here. There's different chips, snacks, food items, drinks, cigars, cigarettes, rolling paper. If you lose your ID, you can come over here and you can grab another ID. There's rolling papers. Make sure right here, this number, this is going to represent how many items that you buy. So keeping this at 0, we'll just select one item at a time. It will also move a full stack of items if you have multiple items. If I change that to 1, you can see right here, that's just going to move $1. If I have 1 right now and I select this, I just bought 1 cupcake. However, if I have in there 100 and I select it, I will buy 100 cupcakes. So make sure you just keep that in mind and you're mindful of that. I would say it's best to keep this at 0. And we got a cupcake. We'll grab a bottle of water. And I'm going to keep it at that. for right now, because I really don't feel like I need any other food items with me. Maybe we'll grab a Snickers, just in case. My car is gone. Oh, my rental time expired. Well, you hate to see that happen, folks. I wasn't even paying attention to that, to be honest with you. That was a quick 5 minutes. Sounds like there's a helicopter crashing over there. We're gonna head back over here. Try not to get ran over by a car. Maybe we'll get 10 minutes. Okay. Next thing that I wanted to get was a cell phone. So we need to find the cell phone store or the electronics store. If you look right here, you will see this little computer icon. This is going to be the DigiDen. This is where pretty much all of the legal electronics can be purchased. All right. Again, make sure this is 0. Grab a cell phone. Anything else that you might need. TV, remote, boombox. Just make sure you know what these things are for. There's also a radio in there and a laptop. Okay, now that I have my phone, I'm actually going to pull this out here really quick. Again, this may be updated by the time you see this. There's actually a large update that's about to go in for the phone. But if you click right here, you can click and move the phone around to keep it on the screen wherever you would like to have it. Again, here's the phone light. You want to have that on. The camera mode, if you would like to take a photo. Clicking this button at the bottom is going to be kind of like your home screen button. So we're going to go ahead and click that to open our phone. Probably will need to head to the App Store, download the apps, and get them onto your phone. So we're going to go ahead and click both of those. And we'll get those installed. If I head over here to bank, I can see how much money that I have in the bank. I can also request, send money, check my invoices. Under contacts, right here, you can go ahead and airdrop your contact information to anybody that's standing near you. This is how you contact the police or EMS. This calls anyone on the police line. Basically calls everyone on the police line. So any police officer that's available will answer. Anyone in EMS that's available will answer. This is how you also add contacts. This is pretty self-explanatory, though, most of this. You can come in here, though, and you'll probably want to turn your sounds down so that your eardrums don't get blown out. You can turn on so that your phone number shows up as anonymous if you wish to. You can change the size of your phone if you wish to. Change the background and other things along those lines. Let me hop out of this guy's way. But yeah, F1 is going to be how you utilize your phone, and it's definitely a major tool to utilize, especially looking at Twitter. You have to create an account. It doesn't rely on your real-life Twitter. So Twitter is a good way to stay in communications with everybody and just kind of learn generally what's going on. And then over here, under advertisements, you can go through here and you can look at all the different advertisements that are available for businesses and things along those lines. So just stuff to keep in mind if you're looking for things. If you're like, oh, I need a mechanic. How do I get a mechanic? Crack open the ad. All right, we got about 5 minutes left. We need to... yeah, we got 5 minutes left. We need to get over to the tank work site before we lose this rental. It's a good thing we did 10 minutes right there. If you hold H, you can activate your convertible if you have a convertible vehicle. N is how you open your vehicle menu. So if you want to put your window up and down, open your doors, switch seats, open the hood, things along those lines, you can use N to open that menu. And there is an entire keyboard layout available on the website, and it is pinned in Discord, Aurora main chat. A lot less likely that there's police over here, so I'm not as concerned about running the red lights. So things to just keep in mind, guys, again, when you're out here, perspective is everything. You really want to just kind of make sure that you're in the shoes of the character and really experiencing the world, you know, from the first person perspective of this character. Not so much you just observing this character and living out the world that way. It's definitely a lot more in-depth if you can really get into the head of this person, into their shoes. The whole world is really set up to be a life simulator, and to come out here and really get in depth and build relationships with everything that you're doing. So we really hope that you guys utilize it for those purposes. As you can see, I'm not just crashing into everything. I mean, I'm still driving fast and reckless, if you will, but you know, when you have moments like that, you should you should, you know, realize that you had a moment like that and not just treat it like, oh, that was nothing, and just keep driving. You know, your character, you know, if you were really in this person's shoes, you'd be shook up. You'd be like, holy shit, like that was crazy. Good Lord, this driveway is long. We're just gonna cut in here. All right, now that I'm showing up on scene here at my job, I'll just park our car here. Again, M to turn it off. Oh, I'm crouching. Must have hit my comma muscle. That's how you make yourself stand up. If you get out of a vehicle and your character is just like laying there, and you're like, what the hell? Why is he just laying there? Like, get up. He won't move. Just hit your delete muscle. Most likely your character is ragdolled. We come over here to this gentleman. You can see E to start working. This is basically how a lot of jobs will function. You'll just look for prompts, things along those lines. Sometimes you have to use your third eye where you hit down. For me currently right now, it is my E key on my keyboard. So to bring up that little box, if you highlight over things, you would then be able to interact with them. So some places you will need to use your E key to interact with things. Sometimes you'll have a prompt. Like you just saw there with that gentleman. And as you go through, you'll become more used to seeing these different kind of notifications and knowing what to look for. But yeah, that is pretty much the basics, guys, of how to get started here. There are job tutorials on how to do all of these jobs. This job in particular is explained on the website, so make sure you do go and utilize the website. For all of your questions and concerns that you might have. There's a lot of very useful information on here, especially as things progress. Under the job how-to, you can come down here and you can find the tanker job driver, and explains basically what you need to do as far as talking to the boss man, getting your truck, fueling it up, and heading out to gas stations to get those gas stations fueled up. But yeah, depending on what you want to do, you can utilize the website to learn how to do that job in better detail. There are how-to videos. Here is the keyboard layout. So here it explains basically how all the keys work and how to utilize them while you're in the server. So you can just keep this up on the side of your on your second monitor if you have one. Hopefully you do if you're in PC gaming. But yeah, utilize this stuff, guys. Lots of useful information about gangs, illegal activities, telling you specifics on how things work, civilian activities as well, and government information, as well as all of the laws, exactly what the laws are, and the meanings. So if you have any questions, if there's any concerns, pull up the website and utilize this information as well. All right, guys, good luck out on the server, and check for more how-to videos back here.